What are we doing today?
So I want to go a little bit darker and I need length. I want to be long.
Long?
Yeah.
Okay. You've had extensions before. You're always going to be used to having that length there. It's not going to feel unnatural to you.
No.
Tape extensions?
Yeah, tapes.
Tapes,
Yeah.
okay. Now, color-wise, let's start with that before we go into how many packets you'll need and the length and everything and how you want them cut in.
Mm-hmm.
Color-wise, you're naturally a lot lighter on the top here.
Yeah.
Are you looking for something that's going to grow out and blend into your natural?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay.
And my hair, when it fades, it goes very brassy.
Right.
So I have very warm undertones and I like it ashy.
Okay, we want to steer away from the warmer.
Yeah.
All right, show me your inspo photo.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay, now when we break down that photo, what is it about that photo that you like? She's got a money piece in her hair.
I think no money piece. I've had money pieces before, but it's made my front bits break.
Okay.
So I think
Hair health is our priority.
Yeah, that's
Amazing.
my main thing.
She's quite a bit darker than your natural. Now, when you said before you want something that's going to blend out with your natural, when we look at her color there, technically she's about 3 shades darker than what your natural color is here. Not this pre-existing color in here, because I can see you've had something that's a little bit darker in there that's grown out.
Yeah.
Your natural, however, with the color that we need to place on top of that to be like the inspo photo, will be about 3 shades darker.
Yeah.
Now, it will start to fade out to more like this if we use a semi-color. We're not going to use anything permanent. That way you're not getting a harsh grow out line.
Yeah.
So technically it's still going to fade and blend out whilst it grows out, but know that whatever color we put on here is always going to be darker than you are naturally.
Yeah.
So as long as you're comfortable with that, then I'm happy.
Maybe 2 shades darker.
Yeah.
1 to 2 maybe.
Yeah.
I think
so. We can see in here what's happened at the moment. Your natural is about to there, and then you've got slight bit of banding in there. But if you're wanting to stay darker for a while, then it doesn't matter.
And I'm quite frequent when I come to get my tapes relifted. So the color, even if it's slightly grown out, it's okay.
It doesn't matter. You end up going over it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, in terms of the ends of your hair color here, we want to remove the brass. She's got the dimension, which we can play around with the extensions anyway. So I'm not too fussed on your hair not being light enough, because I can add that lightness and that ashy cool tone in with the extensions, and you're going to get both dimension, lightness, and all the rest of it through the extensions. In your natural hair though, you've actually got some blonde. Did you have previous highlights in here?
Yeah, so I had previous ones to blend in with my extensions.
Yeah. Okay. I want to work with that color that really light color that I see in there. I don't want to just go put a darker ashy color over the top of all of this, because that's going to just waste the pre-foiled work that you just did last session. And we can actually use that to our advantage and add in the dimension with both the extensions. And without lightening, keep out some of these lighter pieces that you have in, but just tone them ashier next to a color that's actually going to be a little bit darker. Cool. Color-wise, we're just going to do the darker blending down. Obviously, like I said, in a semi. We'll leave the front bits out, and the color that's behind it will be darker. So it mimics a face frame without using lightener, but we will tone that down so that it's not so warm at the front.
Love it.
When we think about extensions, mine's 25 inch. Are you interested in 25 inch?
25,
Absolute longest.
The thing with my hair though is that I've got some layers, and I want to make sure my extensions blend as best as possible with my layers, because sometimes I've had extensions where there's not enough layering, and it my top layer just sticks out.
Like a mushroom.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go high enough so they're not visible, but also high enough so that it blends out. The good thing about your natural hair is the ends of it aren't cut blunt. That works into your favor when we're thinking about blending in length into your natural. That'll blend out seamlessly, provided we go high enough that there's not a big chunk sitting over the top of that. Extension colors. We've got 2 options when it comes to the dark, okay? We've got dark chocolate, okay? Caviar.
Yeah.
The difference between the both is, one is slightly warmer and one is slightly lighter. When you look at these, which one do you see as being warmer?
Oh, hands down. Oh, warmer?
Warmer.
Yeah,
that
one's warmer.
Okay, cool.
This one's,
ashier. Okay, so you know the difference between warm and cool. Amazing. Now, if we're thinking we like ashier, then I would say caviar is more likely to be your color. And when this fades out, all brunette tones, the underlying pigments of a brunette are warm. So when they do fade out, you're going to still see some warmth. But if our starting point is ashier, the likelihood of it becoming warmer won't be till a lot later. Whereas when we start warm, it's going to fade warm sooner.
Yeah.
So we'll use the caviar extension
Yeah.
as your darker color.
Love.
She had quite a contrasted lighter color.
Yeah.
I've got 2 colors to show you.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me again.
Yeah.
What do you think by looking at these 2 tones is the ashier and which one's the warmer? Just so I can see if we're on the same page again.
Yeah. Oh, hands down, that's ashier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
In terms of dimension and going by your color inspo, I feel like this one's bang on.
Yeah, I love this color.
Yeah, I feel like that one's bang on point to the inspo photo that you just showed. And obviously you can see when I put them next to each other,
it's got a bit of dimension already in it as well, which is nice.
each strand, all the strands are kind of like colored and melted into one another. When you think about extensions coming off, they don't always come off of one person's head. They come off multiple people's heads. So when they're colored, they lighten and lift differently, and that's where you get random strands mixed in.
Yeah.
Plus, it looks more natural.
Which I love.
Yeah.
That's why I love seamless. Like it's the more natural extensions.
It does. When we look at those 2 together, that's a contrast.
Yeah, that's massive.
Now, it scares a lot of people when I show the contrast like this, but when you got to think about an extension piece being really fine and flat, that when a strand like this is placed on top of a strand like this, you almost just get that highlighted effect depending on how I place them in the hair.
Yeah.
But they layer over each other really seamlessly and they'll kind of melt into one another.
Yeah.
If I'm to sandwich 2 of these shades together next to 2 of these shades together, it will kind of look like this, where you get dark and light, super dimension. But if I layer one of these on top of one of these, you get a seamless, more foil kind of effect.
Which I love.
Yeah, which I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of placement, how do you wear your hair?
I'm pretty much always down.
Okay.
I barely put it up. Like if I put it up or away from my face, it's always just in a low pony.
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay,
I
so
don't really do much with it.
What are your concern areas when you're wearing your extensions? Obviously, you said we don't want this part here to be considered like a mushroom, where we need to go quite high. When we think about the front, are you happy with your like natural hair being more exposed, or do you want to kind of recreate a new length at the front?
I think I want to recreate just because it's so short. Like I don't just have one short piece, it's like a big chunk of shortness. So I need that blended
filled
out.
out. When we think about our haircut after they go in, what kind of a cut are you wanting to do in order for them to blend in? Are you someone that likes to keep it really long around the front even after filling it in, or are we happy with to fill it in with the thickness and kind of give you subtle layering, or do you want heavy layering?
I think like a bit of an in-between of subtle and heaps of layering.
Okay, so when we look at my hair, I feel like I have a good in-between where it's like you can see that it's there and it's enough to, if you want to like tuck it under or curl it, you've got some shape in there. But when we look at it overall and I kind of bring it to the front, it kind of still all looks long.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah. Are you looking to just have it layered through the front, or do you want it slightly layered everywhere?
I think layered everywhere, just so it's like a lot, like nice and blended.
Yeah.
Like especially at the back.
Okay. I think that's it. I think we're good to go. Stay tuned for the next result. 3, 2, 1. Fuck off. Sorry. I didn't. You can. It's so beautiful.
So good.
That is stunning.
That blend.
Yeah.